Hi, it's Dane. What are you suggesting? As a daily tip from my book, Mistaken Identity. And I think a lot of people make a lot of mistakes in the way they think and the way they approach their problems and their goals and their challenges. And they're also mistaken about how they see themselves, whether they're confident or have low self-esteem, or maybe just mistaken about beliefs and rules and values that were handed to you, and it's impacting you in different areas of your life. So every day I put together these daily tips to try to help you. So you've always heard people say, "What are you suggesting?" You'll be talking to somebody, and maybe you're having a conflict, or you're at work and you're talking about a situation, and you suggest something, or you say something, you offer an opinion or your feelings or your thoughts or whatever. Somebody goes, "What are you suggesting?" And so I really want you to ask yourself that question. What are you suggesting? You have to be careful of what you auto-suggest, or what was suggested to you that you now own and repeat habitually without thinking. So we all grew up with a bunch of suggestions. Suggestions on what was right and what was wrong, and if we were good or we were bad, all kinds of negative suggestions made to us. A lot of suggestions of commands and orders and discipline of things we were supposed to do. So we had a lot of suggestions when we were little growing up. And we were literally hypnotized. And we just kind of believed certain things. Things were suggested to us. We accepted them without question. And so you now have things that you suggest automatically. So repetition of suggestions over and over and over into your mind get buried into the subconscious, and they become auto suggestions. So it becomes automatic. That's just like habits. Okay, when you start to form a habit, you have to be consciously working on it, thinking about it, telling yourself that you need to do it, to stick to it, etc., until one day it just becomes automatic. It's kind of like when you were little and your mom said, "Go brush your teeth." Did you brush your teeth? Go brush your teeth. Did you make your bed? Go make your bed. And through repetition, over and over, now most of you, maybe not you, but most people probably brush their teeth regularly, probably make their bed regularly, because those suggestions were made over and over again, where it becomes automatic. So I want you to be thinking about some of the suggestions that got drilled into you, where they've become an automatic response to you. So for example, today in my 45-day live workshop, I'm doing a daily call, 45 days, 5 days a week, every day for 6 weeks, in a program called 45 Days to Upgrade Your Life. And so today we were talking about this idea of suggesting. And one of the people on the call said, I always believe that I start things and don't finish. And so that was a self-suggestion that just automatically came out of their mouths. And they've been operating that way for quite a while. And we talked about, well, why don't you start doing something that you want to start doing? And they said, well, what's the point? What's the point of even starting? And that was an automatic response. So we have these automatic suggestions that just come up, and they come from our programming. In this great book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, there's 13 principles in the book. And the main principle, he said, which is it's the keystone to the arch of the entire philosophy in this book, which was the third principle, called autosuggestion. He said, autosuggestion is a term which applies to all suggestions and self-administered stimuli which reaches one's mind through the five senses. So when you were little, you heard things, you saw things, just over and over, these self-administered stimuli or suggestions made. Stated another way, autosuggestion is self-suggestion. And so that's what's happened. So I really want you to think about, what are you suggesting? In fact, think about it right now. What is one thing that you just automatically suggest that's negative, that gets in the way of you succeeding or doing better in your life? We all have them. This person today was, what's the point of getting started? Because I always start something, I don't finish anyway. Another person was talking about how they had all kinds of anger issues when they were younger, and they're still talking about those anger issues. I said, be careful what you're suggesting to yourself, Because whatever you suggest to yourself, ultimately through repetition becomes auto-suggestion. Now, the good news in that is that you can self-suggest repetitiously something more positive or the opposite of the negative, and do that repetitiously until it becomes auto-suggestion and you automatically suggest it to yourself. You automatically behave that way. It automatically becomes who you are. And that's really what we've got to do, folks, is you really want to just start operating as yourself, being yourself, and living with the rules and values and the beliefs and the standards and policies you want for your life to be better. Self-suggest that. That'll become auto-suggestion, and you'll start directing yourself in a more favorable way. Hope that helps. Have a great day.